Tonight we continue our deep dive into what's hidden on the dark web and how it hits home in North Dakota.
As we reported yesterday, the dark web is a huge online marketplace hidden below the surface of the internet where users can buy any illicit product imaginable.
And tonight we're talking about the online drug trade. Renee Cooper joins us with more.
Lauren and Nicholas, it might sound crazy, but on one dark website alone, there could be upwards of tens of thousands of drug options for sales. In a KX News exclusive, I had the opportunity to sit down with the special agent in charge of the DEA operations for the upper Midwest. We discussed in depth how the dark web drug trade has a grasp on the country and on North Dakota. Would you call the dark web a hot spot for selling drugs in the upper Midwest?
It could be. We are getting into dark web sales. It's something that's starting, so we really don't know how bad it is. I can tell you that, we don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Richard Salter is the special agent in charge for the DEA's Omaha division, covering Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, and North Dakota. He went on to tell me the influence of drugs from the dark web is likely a lot worse than we know. At the end of the day, how many drug cases actually lead back to the dark web?
I can just say it's not near probably what it should be.
Do we keep statistics at all on drug cases that lead back to the dark web? I imagine.
It wouldn't be hard to probably pull those statistics, but right now, no, we don't.
As of October 1st, 2019, the DEA did assign a specific tracking code to all cases that involve a definite cyber component for the very first time. These include, but are not limited to, dark web cases. Since tracking began in October, the DEA has opened up 369 cyber cases across the U.S.
And there's a learning curve to this for our investigators, because your traditional investigators that have come on the job in the last 10 years, they weren't really trained how to do cyber investigations.
In a new era of investigation, the DEA is now working to recruit agents with backgrounds in cybersecurity and network engineering. Salter says it was about 7 years ago, with the shutdown of Silk Road, that the DEA, FBI, and all other agencies started putting a heavier focus on what's going on in the depths of the internet. And for criminals, there's a lot of appeal to the dark web drug trade.
It's a whole lot safer to go to the dark web and purchase something illegal than it is to find a dealer, meet them on the street.
Salter says here in the upper Midwest, where it's remote and you can get snowed in more than half of the year, ordering drugs online and having them delivered to your doorstep looks more and more convenient. So far, Salter says North Dakota plays more of a user role in the online drug trade, meaning as far as the DEA knows, North Dakotans are accessing the dark web to buy drugs, not to sell them.
Users are typically addicts. Addicts need treatment. We go after the dealers. We want to take the dealers out.
The hitch is, dealers are coming from all over the world, likely concentrated in Mexico. Salter says if the seller was set up with a server in the U.S., it'd be a much quicker takedown operation.
It gets difficult because you need the cooperation of the host country, of their law enforcement, of their internet service providers to pin down where that server is located.
Right now, Salter says the DEA is still swamped with street-level dealers, and that's still the biggest fight in North Dakota. He says tracking cyber cases just isn't mainstream yet, but it's getting there.
It's not a cloak of invisibility, but it's a ski mask. Because can we get to them? Can we identify them? Yeah. It doesn't make you completely anonymous.
Salter says at the end of the day, federal laws will have to change to give law enforcement more access to have a chance at taking down these anonymous kingpins.
Thanks so much, Renee. And Special Agent in charge Richard Salter with the DEA Omaha Division says the agency's biggest problem right now is fake prescription pill sales. He says Mexican cartels are always looking to feed a demand in the United States, and Americans want prescription pills. The problem is the pills people are buying from the cartels are not real, and even worse, they look real. Salter says the DEA is seeing this more and more in the last few years as a direct rebound from the opioid crisis started at the doctor's office. What the agency is finding is that if someone purchased what they thought was Adderall, it's actually meth. If someone was looking for Xanax, they end up with fentanyl or a combination of heroin and fentanyl. Fake oxycodone pills are often a combination mixed with fentanyl too, and particularly for those who have never touched fentanyl, 3 to 5 micrograms or the equivalent of 5 grains of salt is lethal.
We're losing the equivalent of a jetliner going down every day in this country. So a Boeing 737 crashing every day in the United States, that's how many people we're losing to overdose deaths.
And he says this is the DEA's biggest concern right now across the entire country, affecting urban and rural areas alike. He says the buyers range from college kids looking for amphetamines like Adderall to pain patients who can no longer afford their prescriptions.
KX News reached out to a local addiction treatment center to see if the dark web has become a trend in the capital city. The director of the Heartview Foundation tells us yes. He says numerous staff members have reported working with patients who say they get their drugs through the dark web. Snyder added they are aware of the trend, but he wouldn't say any staff members are experts in the online drug market.
And tonight at 9.